Hi everyone, Shimthony Shamtano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. Let's not laugh. Today's a serious topic, serious video, serious face. Today, we're going to be talking about our favorite platform out there for music. You love it. I love it. I talk about it. I review and find albums on and from this platform all the time. That's Bandcamp.com. The last time we made a video about Bandcamp on this channel, we were talking about how the site had gotten bought out by the mega giant video game corporation Epic Games, which many were worried would spell the end of Bandcamp's days, or at least, a heyday in terms of its functionality, its ease of use, so the fact that it continues to be a benefit to independent artists across the board. We love that. That's a good thing. We would like for Bandcamp to continue doing that and also be good to its employees, especially those on the editorial side who are constantly sleuthing through the site, finding interesting albums and artists to recommend to everybody who are on the site using it. But yeah, I and Bandcamp's users and its artists would love for the platform to continue staying awesome. But it's kind of hard to have faith when, repeatedly again and again and again in the music scene and beyond, you sort of see these fantastic media properties get bought out by multimedia conglomerates or whatever, and then all of a sudden, the coverage isn't as good, or the website kind of sucks now. Whatever voice or personality was originally there is just kind of gone. And we don't want to see that happen to Bandcamp. Now, I think a sensible response to this change recently has been the announcement of a union at Bandcamp. Its workers are attempting to unionize. Why is everybody on the internet but so mean? This past March is when they hopped on social media to announce that they were making this push. Here in this Twitter thread that we will link you to down below, kind of making their pitch as to why it is exactly that they are trying to unionize their workplace. I think it's a pretty clear and obvious objective fact that having Bandcamp workers across the board unionize would give them more say in how their workplace is run and the direction of the company overall. And given that many people who work there currently were there prior to the site being bought out, one would hope that a union or just putting workers at the table in various decision-making processes at Bandcamp would prevent any, changes from happening that artists or users would hate, or just make the platform less beneficial to the indie and underground community. Now, again, this announcement happened a while ago. I want to give you guys an update and let you know they are going to be holding a vote to unionize their workplace very soon, April 27th. So that's big. That's amazing. That's huge. That's just around the corner. And so far, artists and even record labels alike have been coming forward and supporting the Bandcamp unionization effort. I imagine also because labels don't want to start seeing a smaller cut from the money they're making from Bandcamp if they were to start, changing the splits or maybe the number of Bandcamp Fridays that are happening over the course of a year. Whatever their motivations are, they're there. It's pretty clear, again, across the board in the music scene that there's a lot of support for this effort, a lot of support for this change. However, that doesn't mean this unionization effort is necessarily going to be easy. The company could have just kind of acknowledged and accepted that, the union was a thing, but instead they're having to go through this vote process. And on top of it, there is a bit of, I guess you could say putting a finger on the scale, maybe some light union busting going on here that Top Shelf Records recently tweeted about. I bring this up to point out that even though there hasn't been a whole lot of loud protest from Bandcamp or Epic Games in terms of this unionization effort, that doesn't mean that that it's just going to go through easily or that there isn't opposition. It's just that Bandcamp knows how bad of a look it would be if they decided to, flip the bird to Bandcamp United at this point. But still, Top Shelf Records here says, we were contacted by Bandcamp management and petitioned to cease supporting Bandcamp United. To be clear, we fully support Bandcamp United and want to see the platform that espouses to champion independent music do so equally for their staff. Let them vote immediately. Bandcamp is a music company. It is de facto the marketplace for independent music, but it is a third-party platform bought by a multi-billion-dollar tech corporation, which is showing showing why we as a music community should be critical and why its staff should be diligent. They go on to talk about why Epic Games buying the platform is a concern and call on more people and labels to be vocal about their support for the unionization effort, which is what I'm doing. I think more people should be doing. But look, the last video that we did about this on the platform, I'll admit, even I myself was, trying to, I guess, have a hopeful view of things. Just because Bandcamp is being bought out doesn't necessarily mean that, bad days are ahead. But I'm also, generally speaking, a big proponent of unions for, huge workplaces like this, for massive platforms like this. And while I don't necessarily want to throw shade at Epic Games before any huge changes that ruin the platform have come down the pipe, I do want to vocally state that having the workforce there unionized would mean a lot in terms of having maybe less to worry about going forward. Not only in terms of how the employees there are treated, of course, but also in terms of whether or not the site continues to culturally be a benefit to artists and labels and music fans. With a union that would have say in some of the company's biggest decisions, that would hypothetically make it more difficult to push through a massive split change in terms of payments, or, for them to do something like fire the entire editorial staff, or essentially turn Bandcamp into another platform that, looks no different than a Spotify or an Apple Music or whatever, which, I do appreciate that there are some bigger artists doing their thing on Bandcamp, but that's kind of not the point of the platform. But yes, again, down below, we will link you to Bandcamp United's socials, their site, all that. Also, this Top Shelf Records thread, I appreciate them for being open about, their experience in regards to that. And I hope all of you will be keeping an eye on this upcoming vote that the union, the potential union at Bandcamp has coming up. Because if this is going to happen and the website's going to stay good in the way that we like it, this should be something we pay attention to. This should be something that we support. Again, considering how much skepticism there was around this buyout, around this change. In the last video I did, there were a lot of comments that were kind of that tone, and understandably so, underneath that video. Again, if that concern is still really there and it's legitimate, pay attention to this. So I think that's all I have to say. All I have to add right now to this situation. Those are my thoughts. Those are my feelings. You're the best. Mwah. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Bandcamp, forever.